Okay, well, once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our Monday morning coffee time live stream. It seems like it's been a long time since last week's live stream. So, and as happens sometimes, the internet is a bit out of my control today, and I guess the quality has been kind of in and out. So we've been experiencing that for a little while here, and I've tried a few things, but like so many things in this world, including even aspects of mind and body, it's not completely under my control. So we will do our best. So we are back, and it is Monday, and it is also Monday, August the 31st, so the end of the month. And I've had a nice break over the last couple of weeks. Been able to spend a bit more time hiking in the forest, a bit more time meditating, a little bit of reading, and attending to all kinds of neglected work here at the Hermitage that I need to be attending to more and more as we move into the fall and preparing for winter. So I will be resuming daily live streams starting tomorrow, and hopefully Monday through Friday that's going to work and be sustainable for the rest of what I have to be accomplishing over the next couple months. So we will see and adjust as necessary, but I think I can manage that and get everything else done. So Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, well, we have other people coming here for meal offerings on site, and to give myself a little bit of break in the morning times to attend other things, I'll take off. So, and also be resuming morning chanting and meditation. I'm sorry to say, not the evening, or the evening I might just sit by myself. Venerable Rikito, who's just here for the summer, has only about a month left before he goes back to Abaigiri, and he's been volunteering to sit and chant with me, and I want to make sure he has ample time for some solitary practice. So he'll be joining me in the mornings at 5:30, and we'll have a live stream sit and chanting. And then evening time, I'm not sure. It's going to depend on our internet connection. It might just be me sitting, or maybe we'll just leave that off for now. And for people that want evening pujas, they can tap into the morning live stream. I'll kind of leave that up online. So let's see. We have some other news as well, besides the daily live streams and the pujas. I don't see her here this morning, but our friend Ladawan Konkrat, who lives up near Seattle, wanted to. Last year, she helped me make some T-shirts with the logo of our monastery that we gave out at our annual Paba gathering, and she was wanting to do something this summer. We're not having a Paba, but she still wanted to do something this summer, and she had some masks made up in Thailand. She has some friend or associate in Thailand who was making masks, and she thought it'd be fun for our 10th anniversary to make a commemorative mask. What could be more commemorative of this summer than the mask? So we have some very kind of fun masks that have the monastery logo on them. We don't sell anything, so she's just donated her time and had these made up. There is a blue one and a white one, and people that live locally in the gorge and in Portland area are coming to visit the Hermitage for whatever reason, I'd be happy to give you one or two. And she's also offered to mail them out to people, I think domestically. I don't know if she can send them internationally very easy, but there'll be a post going up on our website that has the details. And then also, if you catch her here in the morning live stream, she might be able to give you the details herself. I don't see her here this morning. She's usually here every morning. But anyways, thank you, Ladawan, for doing those. It's kind of very fun. It's not, we're pretty color coordinated, so it's not monk colored. So it's, I like the blue, and that seems to be a fan favorite. The monks, we wear something that matches our robes. And we've had many friends from Thailand, or Thai friends who have family in Thailand, have been sending over monk-colored masks to the monks here. So, oh, there you are. Hi, Ladawan. So if people can cover the postage and get a hold of Ladawan, her details and address were going to be posted probably today. There's a new post ready to go up on our website, pacifichermitage.org. You can visit that. So, and again, if you're here in the gorge or near enough to the monastery and you have some plan to come out here and visit, be happy to offer one or two for people. So one of my go-to themes for reflection, and something that's on my mind this morning, is the whole nature of control and how it relates to the self. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, like so much of Buddhist training and practice is focused on cultivation and putting forth effort to train ourselves to develop and cultivate various wholesome qualities of mind and heart. And I would say, we almost live in this paradigm of self-betterment. And it can seem to sort of conflict with some of the teachings on self and no self in particular. Little inspiring thing that comes out of the suttas that I often reflect on is connected to my name, which is the self that is well tamed or well trained is a light to the world. And it speaks to this kind of endeavor to not just shrug our shoulders and acquiesce to whatever level of skillfulness and suffering that we happen to be seemingly stuck with, and to endeavor to challenge ourselves to grow in skillfulness, primarily so that we can overcome suffering, including the suffering that is so maybe uncommon or difficult to overcome. And if you think about it, somebody who is spiritually, psychologically mature, skilled, grounded in qualities of kindness and virtue and generosity and full of clarity and presence and love and compassion, equanimity. It's not only a delight to know such people, or even people that are manifesting those qualities, but it really does bring light to the world. it's a great kind of inspiration to see somebody who is, I like to sort of say, spiritually and psychologically mature, at ease, clear, untroubled, unconfused, and who's done their work, the self well tamed. We all arrive in this world and even arrive at the beginning of our spiritual practice with work to do and things that need to be tamed. And it's great to sort of see the results of that in ourselves and in others, and maybe even more profoundly in certain teachers and adepts, spiritual adepts. And so much of the teaching is focused on putting forth effort and changing ourselves sort of in important ways. And yet when we turn to examine the very definitions of the teachings on self, so much of the way the Buddha sort of defines it is recognizing the trouble that comes from this sort of assumption that we have more control over aspects of mind and body or others or the world or the environment. So I always point people back to the Anatalakkhana Sutta when the theme of self kind of comes up, to ground themselves in what it is that the Buddha's meaning and pointing to when he raises the whole kind of contemplation of anatta, or selflessness. And in that teaching, he leads his former ascetics that he's teaching, his former fellow ascetics, through this contemplation of the various aspects of mind and body, and pointing to this recognition that ultimately we're not in control. And because of that, they're not me, they're not mine, they're not myself. If this body was self, then we'd be able to control it, to wish it and will it to be as one would desire. And a whole lot of dukkha and a whole lot of suffering comes from the fact that the body isn't self. And on some level, we take it as self. And that leaves us kind of stuck in the cycles of craving and dukkha. Craving that ends in dukkha. Wishing and wanting and desiring. And then in that sort of teaching, he takes them also through the various aspects of the five khandhas. So the body, feeling affect, how things strike us, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant. It's not really something that is ours. It's not something we can control. It's not something that we can sort of rely upon. Same with our perceptions, same with thought, emotion, mental formations of all kinds. Sankhara in the language of the suttas. And consciousness itself. So how do we make sense out of this? Like, if at the center of Buddhist wisdom sits these truths of anicca, dukkha, anatta, and anatta is strongly defined as some sort of realization that we're not in control of mind and body. How do we square that with all these injunctions to be a light to the world, to tame ourselves, to train ourselves, to kind of grow in control, grow grow in our ability to sort of be in a more strongly kind of skillful way. I think a lot of my early kind of inspiration and efforts in practice were often sort of fueled by a sometimes conscious, sometimes unconscious sort of sense of becoming something of a superhuman, super spiritual Superman through successful meditation, through successful sort of cultivation of the Buddhist path. I guess you could say before I'd really studied enough to have a more mature kind of concept of what the Buddha's pointing at. There was this idea of enlightenment being this overarching kind of perfection of being. And there are various teachings where the Buddha is directly kind of pointing to sort of kind of controlling the mind and mastering the mind and having kind of a sufficient sort of skillfulness to be able to control our experience. But the kind of conundrum, I think, is solved sort of on a deeper level of the practice, sort of realizing that ultimately it's not really about control in the way we think of it, because the patujana, or the mind sort of absent mature understanding of wisdom, the wisdom sort of aspects of the teaching, is always framing things through self. So it's like, there's this under-informed, immature sort of sense that we need to be different, but it's all framed through self. It's all framed through me being different, which is really just so full of self and full of becoming, that it might bring some sort of energy and inspiration, but at some point, like, it has to be purified. It has to be sort of seen through, and the effort has to be purified. The understanding of how we purify our efforts through squaring the practice off with the Dhamma, and even just with, I guess, right effort. One eventually sort of comes to an adjustment of how letting go of notions of the self, and for me, like, focusing on this fundamental part of the cultivation is right effort. And it's really just like, it doesn't have to be so strongly kind of framed and fueled by aspects of me becoming someone or something, or having mastery over some particular aspect of my mind and body and emotional habits and cognitive habits as an aspect of personality, but more as a way of learning how to sort of live in skillfulness, and learning how to respond to the challenge of life with increasing skillfulness. And the notions of being and becoming and striving to be and become that are full of self ultimately are just obstacles in that. There can be tremendous motivation and energy, but because it's not purified, it can only sort of take us so far, because we're constantly identifying in a worldly way with our successes and failures. And at some point we realize that that's kind of going on, and we learn to sort of trust in just meeting the sort of present moment and engaging it with as much presence and wisdom as possible to learn how to resolve unskillful tendencies and engage, nurture, sustain, and develop skillful qualities of mind. And that very kind of engagement doesn't necessarily reside on some notion of being and becoming our self. It's just a sensitivity that's oriented itself to creating and nurturing skillfulness, resolving unskillfulness, and seeking to align oneself with all the beauty and spaciousness and goodness that comes from seeing Dhamma, knowing Dhamma, aligning oneself and one's thought, speech, and actions with the Dhamma. And ultimately, that can be done sort of without some overarching sort of sense of personality. And it's not so much about control. It's a responsiveness. And it's a responsiveness and an ever deepening sort of orientation towards skillfulness and skillful, beautiful, peaceful qualities of the Dhamma. So that's a little reflection for this morning. In alignment with the theme, these reflections sometimes don't go where I want them to. Proof that they're not self and that I'm not in control of it. Okay, well, wow, we're already on 8:30, and I'm going to endeavor to keep these shorter because we're resuming daily live streams here starting tomorrow. So if people have questions or want to catch my attention, I'll remind people to use the @Pacific Hermitage. That will help me sort of pick them out. I think we had enough problems today that there aren't many or any questions that I can see. I see a comment from Sumana here. So just a reflection today. We'll maybe resume questioning tomorrow on our morning live stream. And maybe in imparting too, I got lots of wonderful email from you all about your commitments, and I appreciate that very much. And also lots of feedback and several offers to help with question comment moderation. And we're still working on that. So I still haven't found an easy way to float all the questions up, even with the help of a moderator, using the system that I have right now. So but we'll keep working on that. And if you sent me an email and haven't heard from me, my apologies. I can't respond to everything. And I was hoping to get to the end of my inbox before the end of this month, but haven't yet. So, all right. Well, I will leave it at that for today. Have a good day, friends, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on the morning coffee time. And let's hope the internet connection works just a little bit better tomorrow. So be well, friends. Good to see you all.